Hello, this is Daniel Mart back again. I'm an actor and filmmaker based out of South Florida, and for this video, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be reviewing Shrek for its 25th anniversary. So today, as the time I'm filming this video on May 18th, it's been 25 years since Shrek was released. And wow, 25 years. When I found out that it was about to be Shrek's 25th birthday, essentially, I was like, there's no way that thing came out 25 years ago. Are you serious? Are you serious? The thing came out 25 years ago? I'm old. That's basically how I felt. I feel old. Let's talk about Shrek, arguably one of the best animated films of all time, especially anything that's not Disney. This is the first film in the Oscars history to win Best Animated Feature Film at the Oscars. That sounded a bit redundant, but hey, we'll go with it. So I'm pretty sure the Oscars after the 90s with the Disney Renaissance are like, yeah, we kind of need to make a Best Animated Feature Film category. I'm also pretty sure that by that point they already had an animated short film category, so by that point they definitely needed a feature film category. And the first year we had Shrek, we had Monsters Inc., and we had Jimmy Neutron, which one of them is not like the others in that lineup. All three are honestly really great films, but let's be honest, poor Jimmy is just happy to be there. But yeah, this won over Monsters Inc. for Best Animated Feature Film. And does it deserve it? That's really the question that we're going to answer right now. Does it deserve it? Yes, it absolutely does deserve it. Had Monsters Inc. won, I wouldn't be upset, and it would be a worthy winner. Had Jimmy Neutron won, however, I'm pretty sure we all collectively would have gone like, hey, what the hell? You know? So there is that. Granted, Jimmy Neutron still came out with a really great TV show afterwards. The spin-off with Sheen, not so much. But again, we're here to talk about Shrek, not Jimmy Neutron. Although, funny enough, Shrek did have its own TV show. So, go figure. Back to this movie. So, what is Shrek even about? Shrek is about ogre named Shrek. Wow, that was so grammatically incorrect. But it's about a Shrek named ogre. About an ogre named Shrek. Wow, I can't talk right now. But it's about an ogre named Shrek who's basically trying to get his swamp back after Lord Farquaad. Yes, that's not an innuendo. Of course not. But Lord Farquaad basically exposed all the magical creatures onto his swamp. And he has to go save Princess Fiona, who has a magical little secret behind her, so to speak, and chaos ensues in trying to get the swamp back, and of course love blossoms, because of course, why wouldn't it? It's a fairy tale, you know, opposites attract and all that good stuff. And honestly, this is, like I said, it's one of the best animated feature films of all time, especially when it comes to non-Disney properties. It has a legacy. Again, we just got The Last Wish, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, what, 3 years ago? So that just goes on to show how much of a legacy this is. I'm pretty sure next year, if not this year, it's next year, I think, we're going to get Shrek 5. So just think about it, 26 years after the original, we're still getting Shrek content. It just shows how much of a legacy this movie has after all this time. And yeah, it does deserve to win the Oscar for Best Picture in general, or Best Animated Picture, my bad, Best Animated Feature Film. Had it won Best Picture, that would have been insane. Pretty sure Beautiful Mind won that year, right? And yeah, I mean, what else can I say about this movie? I mean, it's just an incredible film overall. It's just so funny, especially because you're taking the mick out of Mickey, essentially. I mean, they're basically making fun of Disney throughout this whole thing. I mean, and to be fair, that's like a staple of the whole franchise in general, where they are just basically taking the piss out of Mickey and just the piss out of fairy tale lore, fairy tale folklore, I guess, as a whole. I mean, Puss in Boots has Humpty Dumpty, you know, you have Guinevere and King Arthur and all that in the third film. You know, you have the idea of the Princess and the Frog in the second film with Fiona's parents. But just for the first one, even without them basically satirizing Disneyland, you know, and is he compensating for something and all that, that was just hilarious. I mean, again, this is one of the best animated films, like, bar none. This is one of the best animated films we've ever had, just period. Like, I'll very readily say this is probably one of the top 10 best animated films of all time, like, straight up there with something like, of course, The Lion King, although I am a bit lukewarm on The Lion King, which that's a conversation for another day, but something like The Lion King, and of course WALL-E, and even going to anime with Akira, you know, and Snow White, some of the classic stuff, Snow White, or even something really old like The Tales of Prince Ahmed, for example. I would put Shrek right there in the top 10, honestly. Now, does it reach top 5? That is a very, very interesting argument, which I would love to see if anybody puts this in the top 5 of best animated feature films of all time. I don't know if I would personally do that, honestly, but I do think it reaches the top 10. Like, I think it does deserve its place in history and in that lineup of, like, top 10 best animated feature films of all time. I think one of the most outstanding things about this movie is, of course, its voice cast. Of course, you have Mike Myers as Shrek, and you have Cameron Diaz as Fiona, but I think one of the most, best just voice performances of all time, something that maybe even rivals Robin Williams in Aladdin, is actually Eddie Murphy as Donkey. And here's the thing, For those who don't know, and I think this is the only time that's happened, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the only time it's ever happened, but I think it was BAFTAs or Golden Globes, one of those two award shows, they gave Eddie Murphy a nomination for Donkey. We don't see that, like, at all. Like, at all. We don't ever see a voice role being nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress. It's never happened at the Oscars, and I'm pretty sure it was Golden Globes when I think about it, and it happened for the Golden Globes. Like, that is such an insane thing to think about. Like, how close was Eddie Murphy to actually being nominated for an Oscar for Donkey? Like, that's kind of insane. I do kind of wonder how the polling turned out for that. You know, was he in 6th place, or was he, like, all the way at the bottom, like 8th, 9th, 10th place? You know, that I do wonder about that. But just think about that. Like, that never happens. And the fact that it happened with Shrek, the first one, it just goes on to show how incredible of a voice cast this movie has, and in general, how incredible of a voice cast the franchise as a whole has. Because you also have Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots, you have John Cleese as the King in the second movie. I think even outside of that, you know, you also have the likes of Cameron Diaz. She does a great job as Fiona, in my opinion, and of course you have Mike Myers as Shrek. I mean, the character of Shrek basically lives and dies with Mike Myers. The interesting fun fact that everybody, I think, knows about this movie by this point is the fact that originally Mike Myers was not the voice of Shrek. Originally it was Chris Farley, but, you know, he died, so they couldn't really move forward with that, so they got Mike Myers. And, you know, just hearing the outtakes between Chris Farley and Mike Myers, it's a very interesting thing. I'm not going to say it's jarring, because I think had it been Chris Farley, I still think that movie would have been successful. And I do think that Shrek, as a character himself, would have been iconic. But I wonder how the series would have continued on afterwards, if Farley was still alive. Would it still take the same trajectory, or would it be a little bit more different, I guess is my question. Because I feel like maybe John Farley would have had a little bit more input. Maybe that's just me. You know, and that's not to say that Mike Myers didn't have any input. I'm sure he did. But I just feel like their comedy styles are just a touch bit different. And I think because of their differences in the comedy styles, even if ever so slightly, potentially drastically diverge the character of Shrek of what we have versus what we could have had, I guess. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. But overall, I think that's still great. I mean, again, the voice cast is just bar none. In general, it is some of the best voice cast that we have in an animated feature film in general. You know, it's something that definitely does rival the 90s renaissance of Disney, with their litany of voice actors they had during that time, between Robin Williams and Mel Gibson and all these other people during that time. And I know Christian Bale was in Pocahontas as well. I'm not gonna lie, I am still in shock that Shrek is 25 years old, because it really doesn't seem like it. And I think for me, one of the things that makes it not seem the fact that it's 25 is the fact that I remember watching this movie, and as well as the second one, like especially the first two movies, a lot when I was in the hospital when I was a child. I used to be in the hospital a lot as a child. Long story short, but I remember watching these, going to doctor's appointments, and it just being there on the TV, whether it be this one or the first one, or sorry, the first or the second one, one of the Shrek movies being there on TV while I'm just like in the waiting room or in my room, if anything, you know, when I was in the hospital. For that, just because of that, I just hold so many core memories with that. And there are a bunch of other movies that I kind of hold like that as well, like The Little Mermaid, for example, Lion King, Aladdin as well, like some of the Disney Renaissance movies as well during this time. You know, I kind of do remember watching them a lot on the TV, on the TV, in the waiting rooms, in my own room, or at home. Scooby-Doo as well, now I think about it. The 1980s TMNT, now I think about it as well, and like stuff like that. So like for me personally as well, I kind of just attach those memories. It's like, yeah, wow. So like it's almost one of those things, like I grew up with the film in a sense. You know, I'm 27, this movie's 25, so 2 years off. Wow, I'm 2 years older than Shrek. I just realized that. Okay, so I feel like for me it's almost kind of amazing that, like, yeah, it is this old. Wow. And I also kind of just don't believe it, because in a lot of sense, the comedy, just the writing of the movie is very modern. Actually, now think about it, it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Writing. Think about that too. Like, Shrek really was that thing. I almost wonder if we had the rule for Best Picture, like 10 movies, could Shrek get into Best Picture? Now, it's very hard for animated feature films in general to make it into Best Picture. Only 3 of them have done it. It's been Beauty and the Beast, Toy Story 3, and Up. Like, I'm pretty sure if we had the 10 rule, instead of 5 back in the day, if we had all 10 movies, I feel like Shrek could have maybe snuck in there as well, in the top 10 for that year. You know, likewise, I mean, this is another movie, but likewise, I think WALL-E for 2008 could have stuck in there along with The Dark Knight. I know Dark Knight's not animated, but still, if anything, that year is the reason why we have 10 nowadays. But I do think Shrek is maybe one of those animated movies that, had we had a top 10 instead of the top 5, it could have probably snuck in there into Best Picture, and that would have been wow, that would have been a heck of a nomination. That would have been a great nomination. I'll say this much: had not Chris Evans. Jesus, it had Chris Rock. No, not Chris Rock. Had Eddie Murphy. Had Eddie Murphy been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Donkey, then 100% Shrek gets into Best Picture. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And vice versa. And vice versa. Had it gotten into Best Picture, oh my gosh, not Chris Rock. Eddie Murphy. Then Eddie Murphy would have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Donkey. I'm just saying that right off the bat because that would have been a wild nomination. Very much well deserved. But a wild nomination all the same. But I mean, overall, this is such a great film in general. It's like, I'm still kind of shocked. Like, when I said that out loud just a few minutes ago, that, oh wow, I am 2 years older than this film, like, I am very much in shock, like, how, I guess, the legacy of this movie. And the fact that, because it doesn't feel like 25 years, you know? Like, I feel 27. But Shrek does not feel 25, if that makes sense. You know, like, it honestly feels like it came out, give or take, 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there, you know? It feels like a good 10 years younger than it actually is, essentially is what I'm trying to say. It's like, no, there's no way. Are you sure? Damn. Why is it 25? There's no way you're 25. But yeah, overall, this is a great film. Honestly, one of the best animated films of all time, with some of the best voice casts of all time, and it created one of the best legacies of all time, honestly, given how many movies it has, given the fact that we're still pumping out movies up until next year, the fact that it even has a few TV shows alongside it, the fact that it got spin-offs. I'm pretty sure there's a Donkey spin-off in the works now I think about it. So, I mean, just overall, just a great film, and I very much do enjoy it, very much do love it. It is basically one of those childhood movies for me, as it is for many of you, I presume. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it for this review. I mean, again, it's just an amazing, amazing movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't checked it out by this point. I don't know what you're doing with their life. Straight up, just check it out. Watch the whole series. Honestly, not gonna lie, that's what I've been doing this for the past week. I've just been binge watching the series because I have the whole collection. I need to watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Fun fact, I've actually never seen that movie. I didn't see it when it came out because I'm pretty sure it was during the pandemic, anyways. So this is gonna be a first time watch. Excited to watch that, but it's such a great movie. Shrek, the first one. So yeah, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.